Welcome back to a Podcast, episode 53. Today, is this going to be two of your hosts? I'm Jason O, along with
Soup, it's me.
it's Soup, or if you know him as Eli, that's also totally okay.
Yeah.
But
Soup's better because it's the fall, so
true,
we'll stick.
Soup season. But today, it's just two of us. Griffin is running behind. He has left work in downtown. He may hop on a little bit later. Wyatt is off tonight. Been pretty busy. If you guys don't know, he's working with one of the judicial side stuff for the state of Minnesota, for Wilmer, I believe, or that area in Minnesota. So I've been pretty busy remotely for him. And then Laurence, we haven't heard in a while, probably dying from law school.
Yeah,
Likely.
yeah.
But today,
All of those just show how little we have going on.
literally. But
Everybody
today,
else is like doing stuff, accomplishing things, and we're just not.
making a podcast.
We're podcasting.
But everyone, thank you so much for coming on to either watching on YouTube or listening to all of our platforms we're available on. Today we'll be recapping the game against Illinois, preview against Penn State, and then also touch on a few other tidbits. But before we get rolling, Soup, some Gopher news. First start up on women's volleyball. Coach Hugh McCutcheon is stepping down after this season. Still no news on that, but it was announced today as of the 17th. I have no more notes on that. I think you mentioned a high recruit for basketball.
Yeah, four-star Dennis Evans, the 13th ranked recruit in the country this year, is coming to Minnesota. So,
On a caveat of
it's
that,
like a 7-foot center.
yeah, the caveat off that, something we would never see during the Patino era.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. But moving on from there, men's hockey, I think they're ranked number 1 in the country.
They are.
And women's hockey is in top 3, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I lost track of where women's hockey, but I know they slayed Mankato State Mavericks last weekend in their series.
Yeah, so as you can tell, the Gophers are doing good, except
Except for other things. So going into that, the Gophers lost to the Fighting Illini last weekend. We lost 14-26, which bumps the Illini up to ranked number 18 in the country in the AP poll. I think from what you said, Soup, that is, they should be higher.
they should definitely be higher. Not even because they beat us, but like the way they're playing right now and like the numbers they're putting up on offense with Chase Brown right now, like they should be a top 15 team. Like I name 15 better teams than Illinois right now.
I can't, but maybe others will. But going on from there, so in the loss, I'm just going to read through some items here just to go through it. In this game, Mohamed Ibrahim did come back for this game. Like, he's healthy, had 15 carries for a $127, and with 1 touchdown this game. Pretty much our lead rusher of the 142 yards rushing as a team. Tanner Morgan unfortunately went out in the
Fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter, and I know when all of us were chatting on our Snapchat. So just so those of you listening and watching, we have our own Snapchat group along with Discord to chat, mainly on Snap because it's easier. And we're all talking like, what was that play or what happened there? So if you've seen the clips or the videos, Tanner made a run to get the first down, and he did get tackled. And from the footage, I thought it was the guy inadvertently punched him in the head. That was my take. What was your take on that, Soup?
Yeah. I mean, it's really weird when you play contact sports and you're like, those are two large people moving very fast and they're both falling down. So like angles and trajectories are changing the like entire time. And I don't think it's malicious. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It unfortunately it's football. Then that stuff happens.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Tanner Morgan did have to leave the game. And what I hate seeing a lot is when the cart has to come out. As well. So he had to be carted off the field. He was taken to a local hospital in the area.
Yeah, to
Fortunately,
clarify, is a concussion for sure.
yeah,
Like not like a neck injury, nothing like that. No spinal issues. Not worried about that. Just very very concussed. When the guy's going into the locker room with a towel over his head, that's how you know.
yeah,
That's a clear indicator right there.
yeah. And fortunately, he did fly home the same day with the team. From what PJ said in his press conference today to preview Penn State, they actually held the plane back a little bit longer, so the team can fly home with him.
Yeah, because
Um,
you're not supposed to be on a plane within like 5 hours. I think
yeah,
it's it's like the Tua thing.
yep,
That was why people were so upset about Tua.
yep. But Tanner did get to fly home with the team. As far as we're aware of right now, PJ is keeping it very closed doors. All we
I'll
know
tell
is
you
that,
right now, we will not know who is starting until Saturday. We
yeah,
won't. We just won't.
pretty
Just
much.
come to grips with it now.
Yep. But again, if you the sending thoughts, prayers, whatever you want to do for Tanner. But he is okay. He's back home in the great state of Minnesota. So that was, I think, two things that I can note off pretty quick, non-stat wise, besides the loss. But this quick reaction from starting with me here, Soup. Um, I know we talked off air on the group chat and today. Not a lot of separation with our receivers versus what we saw from the Illini's offense. For
Yeah.
me, I was like, the Illini got more separation in their receiving core than ours did, playing a very
Well, the
good
perfect
defense.
example is Michael Brown Stevens again, right? Michael Brown
Mm-hmm.
Stevens showing up again for the wrong reasons. Like, is it a perfect ball by Tanner? No. Is it a catchable ball? Absolutely. Does Chris Ottman-Bell come down with that ball? Chris Ottman-Bell at least makes that an incompletion. At worst, with Chris, he makes a better play on that ball. He actually leaves his feet. He attacks the ball with his hands. Like, how are you body catching a fade when you're turning around? Like, it's not like if
Mm-hmm.
you're the back to your defender and you're using it to like shield him from getting over the top of you. You just don't even go up and make a play on the ball. Like that's and then their safety takes it from him. Like
Yep.
I don't know. Just you need more effort than that from your receivers. And Dalen Wright dogging it on like one of the last plays. Like
Oh
completely just
yeah.
gives up on the ball. That was bad. That's bad. That's so bad. You like
Now I
I don't
sent
know.
that message right when that happened. Like when Ethan got his second pick of the game, I was like, did Dalen really do that? And then you're like, yep. I'm like, oh damn it. But yes, the main point, receivers can get separation. They weren't dogging it for the ball, like trying to make a play on it, no matter where they were. Unfortunately, so for certainly, the loss of Crab is significant. I thought maybe Michigan State was, I thought we're okay, but it was kind of a fluke. I think now that I think about it, 2 games later. But that's just again quick reaction.
I don't know. Michigan State's pass defense is like really bad. It
True.
was not as bad against Wisconsin as it was. Wisconsin has other issues right now, and the Gophers turned the ball over 3 times in that game. Like the Gophers were humming that day. They were running the ball really well, right? Muhammad Ibrahim full game, Trey Potts full game. Like that one, that was pure Gophers. That's what happens when they get to do what they want to do.
Yep.
But they got knocked off plan this week, and they got knocked off plan against Purdue, and they couldn't do anything about it either
Yep.
time. It looked like.
Uh, to segue that, like very one dimensional. Like, I think with Purdue, like they stopped the run because
I
that's.
wouldn't even call it one dimensional. Like
You think so? I thought it was
you,
one dimensional when I looked at the
you've
highlights and the
had
game
positive
footage.
play. You've had positive plays in both directions. I don't think any game so far you can say that PJ's done what he did last year and like went into his shell after stuff happened.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you can say that about any of the games that they've lost this year. I think they've really like been a more balanced team this year consciously. I think they're trying to be. So I
Yep.
don't know if like but it's only one side of the ball that's still efficient. I think that's more what you're seeing on tape is that only one side of the ball is more efficient.
Yep. For sure. And then the other piece here, Besides the receivers, I do want to note the other one's going to be O-line play. I don't know. I wasn't still feeling great with the O-line this game on how they
The right
performed.
tackle was bad. The left tackle had a bad day. I don't know. Quinn Carroll's had 2 rough games in a row.
Yeah.
Ariante, I think, will come back. Will bounce back. He's young. Not age-wise, but he's young experience-wise. So I think he'll bounce back and have a better game. Other than that, like, I mean, the interior of the line is
Pretty solid.
okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. It's like, I mean, JMS is obviously very good, but
Yeah.
it's just I think the word is inconsistent, just like across the board for
Yeah.
everything. You know, JMS is your only consistent player on that line right now.
Enough that PFF is like, hey, he's still our highly graded center. 7 weeks
I
into
mean,
the season.
he's really good. Like, he's really, really good. And like, I don't know. It's just people don't attack him because he is very good. And he had a tough test. This was a good front they played this weekend, and he played pretty well.
Yep. That's it for me. But those are like my quick knee-jerk reactions from this game. How about you?
A lot of people are upset about the 4th and 2. I think we looked at it before off air before we started recording.
Yep.
It's like 4th and 2 on like the 40 something on Minnesota's 40. And we had said it was in the third quarter, right?
Third quarter, with about 5.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
14-20 Illinois.
Yep.
All right. So you come out of the half, you go you trade touchdowns, then you trade punts. So you have the ball back, and you're on the 40, 4th and 2. There's like 7 minutes left in the game. You kind of feel like the game. You're starting to grind this game out a little more. You're starting to do what you want to do a little better, and then you decide to punt. So I've heard a lot of people like get upset about that decision to punt, and I think that's like very close to the decision he made against Purdue that ends up, I think, costing you a lot of momentum.
Yep.
Even though they only give up 3 points, I think that costs them a very big piece of momentum. If they had gotten that, they were already humming on that drive. They just had like a weird third down that they didn't get to the sticks, and
yeah.
And I think and he gets killed for that, you know. So like now he goes the other way. He does the opposite thing, and now he's getting killed for that. It's like I can see why he's doing that because, you know, you trade punts. You're like, okay, we figured this out. Like we had some success on offense this half. You know, we got to stop. Like let's get back to business right here. Like it's fine. We'll pin them deep. Our defense will get a stop. We'll get it back. It's only the third quarter, and there's no need to freak out. Let's flip the field and make them grind the entire field.
Because like you mentioned before, like the previous play, the Illini punted on offense, and from what again looking at
the previous drive,
with hindsight, looking into like, oh, the defense did well to contain, you know, top running back in the country.
That's like
Chase
within
Brown.
the game, like within the moment. That's what you're thinking. But like in hindsight, definitely watching it, like, I mean, me, just the kind of person I am, I'm still going for that in that situation. But that's just me, and that's not who PJ is. Like we have to understand like who PJ is too. Like as a coach, like he's shown us his tendencies. Don't be surprised when you see them, basically.
Yeah.
So that's just who he is by nature, and I think in the fourth quarter they go for that. I think they're much more aggressive. Like, I think if that's a drive later, they go for that. I literally think it was that exact moment because they don't get the ball back, I think, until the fourth quarter flips over because they kick it with like 4 or 5 minutes left.
Correct. So yeah, with when they punt the ball, it was 4:56 left on the clock. The Illini takes the ball into field goal range and get the field goal, so it makes a 23-14 game at that point. And
it's in the fourth quarter by the time Minnesota gets the ball back.
And also, again, from what I could tell, at least for me, and then some of us on the group chat, I was, to be honest, I mentioned to you, but I was off and on in the game because like I had personal things going on in life, that like, you know what, it's still manageable. Like we can still come back from this. It's not like, you know, like legit double like 3 scores kind of deal.
Here,
like,
exactly to what you're saying. That's me. So all right, I'm gonna say that again. So exactly to what you're saying. So Minnesota punts the ball in the third quarter with 2 minutes and 40 9 seconds, I think, left in the quarter. Is that what that is?
The third, you mean?
Yeah, and they don't get the ball back. That's wild.
Yeah.
They punt it and they don't get the ball back until the fourth quarter. I mean, literally one. Like I said, one drive later, I think they go for that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I get where PJ's coming from. I understand who he is as a coach, and I'm just not going to be like surprised by that one.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, other than that, I got really nothing to touch on. Maybe Griff may
Special
have some
teams.
things.
Special teams.
Oh yeah, special teams.
We have to talk about Quentin Redding.
Oh yes, that 92-yard return.
The only reason he doesn't house that is because Illinois' one of their defenders pushes another defender into him.
Yes.
Like the guy chasing him was not going to catch him, but the guy behind him just shoves him forward so they hit each other.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was like, yes, a positive special teams play.
Well, it's literally exactly what you needed. Like it's exactly what you needed. And now we're never getting rid of Rob Wenger, which is like that one play just bought the man another 10 years, and it's really upsetting. It's so upsetting.
I know you and LeBron's in the same boat. You want him fired, but that play just secured his job.
Well, that's because Quentin Redding is a good returner. I don't think that's anything to do with freaking Rob.
No, Quentin Redding is a good returner. I think he like that was my. I think he's a good
kick returner.
Yeah,
I think he's a good kick returner. I think he needs to work on punt return. His decision making is not consistent. He has been pretty sure-handed, knock on wood, so that's good.
Yeah. So yeah, a very good positive play on special teams. So yeah, I was like, when I saw that play happen, when I was like looking at my phone on the side, I was like, oh yes, let's go. And I think that was the first drive of the game too, right? Or when we started off the second half.
That was the opener. That was to open the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love PJ's reaction though too. Like his press conference, he's like, I was surprised we didn't get a penalty off that.
Yeah.
Because you think about what happened with Purdue, we got so many. We thought I was watching the broadcast. I thought it was positive plays for us. Like, oh, they touched the ball.
They were calling those ticky tack PI calls on us.
Yeah. But whatever. Anything else besides that?
The defense.
Yes.
Gold Star, Tyler Nubin, everybody else. I thought Justin Wally had an okay game. He gets beat on that one deep ball that I think looks worse than it is. That's just a good play by their receiver and their quarterback. Like their offense was fully healthy. Like this whole week, people were worried about Illinois' offense being healthy. They were healthy this week. They looked good. You got crushed up front. You had no pressure on the quarterback all game. That's not acceptable. You did have pressures when you brought the blitz, but eventually their quarterback settled down and just started throwing into them. So that's going to happen. You can't do that all game, and they just couldn't get off the field. They were 4 for 4 on fourth down.
Yeah.
They
went for it a lot on fourth down.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? We couldn't stop them. And they had, I think they were on third down. They were where is it? There it is. They were 6 for 17 on third down.
Yeah.
Illinois. That's not great.
Yeah.
But they were 4 for 4 on fourth down. So they were really 10 for 17, right?
Is that Griffin Most?
He entered the chat.
We're getting there.
Welcome, Griffin. Now we have 3 hosts. So, Griffin, we're just giving off some knee-jerk reactions.
Pay attention to the road.
Damn.
Eyes on the road.
It's in my phone holder, and I'm talking.
All right, so Griff, we're talking about some reactions from the game against the Illini and that lost. We discussed receivers, the positive play from special teams with Quentin Redding in the first play of the second half. Defense played not great, but some guys stood out pretty well. And then, of course, Tanner going out. So anything to add on top of all that?
Look, if you're a receiver and you want to play Power 5 football at the University of Minnesota, we need a few because apparently our guys can't catch.
Get MBS off the field.
Yeah, like I'd really love to see Michael Brown-Stevens go after that ball. Like, sure, Tanner didn't throw the most perfect ball, but if you got to come back to it and fight for it. That's an interception that honestly shouldn't have happened. One thing, that I can say the Gophers did really well, though, is running the outside zone.
Yeah.
For Mo. I mean, that just seemed to absolutely discombobulate Illinois. So it was kind of what we predicted for the most part on the Illinois side of the ball. I know Soup kind of mentioned it. Just Illinois was being an efficient offense. They didn't stretch the field too much on, like, huge throws, but they got Chase Brown, I think, on that wheel route to start the game. Yeah. And they got just, those quick stick passes and throwing it to the sticks. So they really did a good job covering that, and there was really Illinois had some no calls, and the referee crew was definitely terrible, but it doesn't make up for how bad we still played on defense.
Yeah, you still
Illinois
got
deserved to win that game.
Yeah. You want to hear something crazy? Here's a fun stat I got sent.
Oh boy.
MBS has been credited with 23 of Minnesota's 138 total passing game targets this year. This is an Ryan Burns stat, by the way, for correct credit, which is a 16.6% target share. So 4 of Minnesota's 7 interceptions are on his 23 targets out of 138.
Ooh.
Not good.
Put Le'Meke Brockington in now. I need more Le'Meke Brockington. Let me see it.
True. I do want to see more Le'Meke. Did he play at all this game? I don't remember.
No, I haven't seen him in like 2 weeks.
It's like we didn't really ever. Tanner only had 4 completions this game, so our whole pass game was just kind of lost.
Well,
Yeah.
You had your pass protection was horrible.
Oh, it was absolutely terrible. Tanner had not a lot of time, and they weren't covering gaps.
Especially the tackles, the left and right tackle, Arianti and Quinn didn't do him any favors either. Like they got pushed by the edge rushers on the Illini.
And PJ says Quinn solidified himself at right tackle, but I don't know. That was a rough game. He's probably just like, I don't know. Don't believe anything PJ says. Basically,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep, for sure. Anything else regarding the game against the Illini? Actually, there is something about it, but that's not football related, so I'll touch on it when we wrap up the segment.
I think that's all from me on the Illinois game.
All right.
What more is to say? Like Purdue is you beating yourself against Purdue, and then this week you get beat by a better team. Like,
yep. For sure. But no, off air. So Griffin, while we're waiting for you for a hot minute, Soup and I are watching some of the snippets of the game. That's still on my DVR from YouTube TV, and it shows a segment where like you see some of the rowdy Illinois fans, and
you're just gonna do this to me right now?
and I love how you just call out the fans or like the students there, because like you didn't go there, but you went to Minnesota instead for college, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, I'm from there. Like so many people I knew from high school went there, and I just hate it. It makes me mad. I hate it. My sister went there. My sister's probably taking a victory lap right now.
Yeah, my sister goes to my siblings. My brother who graduated and my sister who's still there went to Madison, so it's a very tense household when it comes to act season. So, but yeah, with the loss, guys. So let's move on. Then we're 6 games done with the season. So right now the Gophers are 4-2, 1-2 in Big Ten play, 4th in the West right now. I just want to ask you guys first, with 6 games into the season, how do you feel now? Like we're 6 games done, we got 6 more to go.
Being 4-2, obviously our season's not over. We still have a lot of ball left to play, and there's a lot of time for us to get better. What I think, I I mean, it's not ideal to be 4-2 because these were two very winnable games. But in the end, we just need to play better ball down the stretch, and we'll be bowl eligible. We'll get a decent bowl game. But it'd be nice to just not have some of these really simple mistakes that fundamentally like PJ like harps on, but it seems like there's still some issue with it when it gets to Big Ten play.
I mean, this is the meat of the schedule, right? Like, I don't think anybody expected Illinois to be this good. I don't think I thought Purdue was going to be good, but a lot of people were sleeping on Purdue still, and then I think we kind of only thought Penn State was like the only tough game on the schedule, really, besides Iowa, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like those two games on the schedule that were going to be tough came like a lot earlier than we thought.
Yeah, I think for me, the season's not going to like my expectations. Again, I thought we are going to go 5-1, and that loss was going to be against Michigan State because we saw how good they were last year. Because we thought, again, that's the perception. Like we thought Purdue was going to be, competitive with the West. I thought Illinois was just going to be slowly getting better. I didn't expect to get better like this quick. So to be 4-2, now that I had some days of process and watch more film and talk about with you guys, I'm not disappointed by it. Like, again, I think this is where I think PJ's been harping on is like, in terms of like overall records, I'm not sure. PJ speak is like, oh, one game season at a time.
Yeah.
But if you look at overall records wise, like when PJ first came in, so his first season 5-7. The next couple of seasons was a 6-7 in year 2.
7-5.
Yeah. No, he was 6-6. With the win of Wisconsin, we got bowl bound to Detroit. So 7-6. My bad. And then 2019, we went 11-2, got the Outback Bowl. COVID season, I think we all just threw it in the air like, okay, it's a season to forget.
Yeah.
9-4 last year, and I think what PJ wants to do, because you remember in this early press conferences in this early part of the tenure, he wants to be like the Iowa or Wisconsin and have consistency in the long term.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to do that. Like, I think that's where he wants to go and then get better from there. I'm okay with it right now, but there is a lot more game to play because we have Penn State this upcoming weekend. And then from there, we're at home against Rutgers, at Nebraska, Illinois, and then to wrap up the season is Iowa and Wisconsin.
It's Northwestern after Nebraska there.
Oh, my bad. After Nebraska.
Different Illinois team, yeah.
But, I'm still hopeful for the season. Like, am I crushed that we're not going to be competitive? Like maybe not get the West Division? Yes. But I think overall, if we can get another 9-win season or 10-win season, I'll be okay with that. But I don't know where we're at right now. But we still got 6 more games to go. So.
Yeah, I know Jeff Brom's always been a pretty good X's and O's coach, but I think there's going to be a time when Purdue's defense is going to catch up with them because they're still not like a solid defense, but they're doing enough on offense to win. So in terms of, I kind of said it before, where we are right now, we're in a good position to get a good bowl game, but you can't just settle for, and PJ doesn't want to just settle for a good bowl game. He wants, the West, the Big Ten championship, and a national championship. Now, will we get that this year? With 2 losses, probably not. But as long as we play the football we know we can play down the stretch, this season is for sure not a loss.
Yeah, I think if you told me we'd be 4-2 through this stretch, I'd say, okay, yes, we lost to Michigan State. That one was a toss-up at the beginning of the year. We probably just, we bit one to Purdue or Illinois like we always do, like one of those, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we were like, we're 4-2 going into Penn State. Like that's good. That's fine. Like that's acceptable, I think. But it's just these games on the back half of your schedule are like must-haves, because like I think people understand that this 3-game stretch is tough. I don't think people expected Illinois to be that good, but I think, anybody who really watches college football would have said Illinois is going to be good after, watching them play their first games of the season. Like, hard to ignore that. And then you play Penn State, like whiteout game, and then the rest of your schedule softens up. But if you don't pick, like, you need one here to feel better about going into that stretch. Otherwise, those are ones you cannot lose.
Yeah. With the segue into that, this Saturday, the 22nd, we're playing against the Penn State Nittany Lions, boys, in Happy Valley. It's a whiteout game, as Soup alluded to earlier. It's going to be a 6:30 p.m. kickoff, Central Standard Time, 7:30 Eastern. Going to be aired on ABC as well. So I'm just excited because I think for both teams, it's kind of a rematch from 2019 where we beat them at home.
There's gonna be so many replays, dude.
Dude, I know Twitter blocked it under DMCA, and I'm just lazy to fight that because I have other stuff to deal with. But I still have the clip where I put Celine Dion over that interception to seal the game, and it's amazing. And that thing blew up on Twitter when we won that game, and I'm happy. But going on from there, right now in terms of stuff, so so Penn State right now is ranked 16 in the AP poll. They're currently 5-1 overall, 2-1 in conference play. Some names you may recognize for our audience here: Sean Clifford is still at quarterback for Nittany Lions. Pretty much, I think I remember Tanner and Sean lived in like this very close to each other when they're in high school. So like, you know,
it's also the same quarterback matchup as 2019.
Correct. As for other stuff, so obviously we mentioned early, so Griffin, we mentioned it off air earlier in the podcast. Tanner Morgan did get hurt, and we pretty much what Soup said, we won't know who's starting until Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. I don't know, whatever.
I mean, that seems like a normal PJ thing. So,
yep.
Who do you want? Who do you want if it's not Tanner?
Callie McManus, and I wouldn't think twice about it.
Yeah, I'm with Griff 1,000%. Yeah.
Okay, me three. I'm also gonna say Ethan at start. Don't get me wrong. I like some splashes that Cole offers, but I think Ethan has the better arm and the height.
Cole's not in your long-term plans. These are way better reps for Ethan.
And Cole always gets the most, not like it's necessarily all his fault either, but they always put him in and it's a predictable play. Like, okay, it's 4th and 1. They take forever to snap the ball, but you know it's a wildcat. Like, snap to him and then he runs it. Like, and then we don't convert the 4th down. So you're just sitting there like, well, you'd rather have Callie McManus in there, who the defense pretty much, in most cases, wouldn't prepare for if they didn't know there was a potential like QB toss-up. And I think that
I don't think they need to. He just threw 3 picks.
That's true. But I'd rather have him out there slinging the football.
Yeah, if he practices all week, I think he looks a touch better than that.
Yeah, for sure. And then going on from there, Mohamed Ibrahim still going to be, I assume he'll be starting and playing. I don't know. Like what happened with Purdue, I was like, oh, I guess he was still dinged up from Michigan State. All right. But yeah, Mo, and then also PJ mentioned it. The medical staff pulled Trey out from last week's game as well, or against the Illini. So Trey should be back too with Bryce and them. And then receivers, Crab is still out. The rest is still there. I think that's pretty much it on the offensive side of the ball for the Gophers. I don't think there were anything major on the defensive side, right?
Not that I saw.
Okay. Going on from there, back to Penn State. I digress. Sean Clifford's back at quarterback. They actually have a tandem of running backs that they're using. There's no single one.
It's pretty even.
Yeah. Was it Nick Singleton, and who's the other guy, Sue?
I was just looking at it. That would be...
While we're waiting for Soup to find that, their top receiver is Parker Washington, who is currently at 23 receptions for 318 yards this season. With the loss of Crab, Brevin takes up the Gophers' top receiving yards stat right now.
As it should be. He's got to see more targets earlier in the game. I don't know why. I don't know why it takes them like 3 quarters to throw him the football.
I'm not sure, man.
There's
Yeah.
usually always eyes mismatch too, and it's like, why wouldn't you like target that early?
Like, I think their tackles, they must not have that much faith in their tackles, right?
I think so.
If he's chipping every play, like, it's because they don't believe in their tackles.
Yeah. But going in from there, I think Soup, you and I talked off air of a guy a guy you follow on Twitter who does stats for this.
Stats or yeah.
And you said in that was it expectation versus reality, Minnesota and Penn State are pretty much on top of each other.
Yeah, like it's a cool measure of like the betting markets versus like expectation of you and then how you've performed, and like the Gophers and Penn State are like on top of each other on that, which is really funny.
Yeah. And I'm not sure who wrote this article and then said it further on podcast or radio, but someone mentioned that even though Penn State and Minnesota like culturally are very different, like PJ and James Franklin are very two different people, in terms of like programs they built, they're pretty similar. Like from what I've seen, just looking at some of the players on here, I think on quarterback, Sean and Tanner are pretty similar.
Sean's a better quarterback than Tanner.
Yeah,
Morgan, though.
Yeah. In the situation, yeah, Sean is better, but I don't know. In my mind's eye, I think they're very comparable. Versus
Penn State's got a lot more depth of talent on their roster because they just recruit better because they're Penn State.
Yep, for sure. But going further from there, betting odds right now is the spread is at -4.5, favoring the Lions. Over under at 44.5. But you guys have any other actually we can just go into it. Keys of the game if we want the Gophers to win. Griffin, if you said anything, you're muted, but okay.
There we go.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Down.
What happened? Hold on.
We just can't see you. It's fine.
We back.
Okay.
Keys to the game. I mean, does anyone else remember when in the 1 year Clay's era when we were at Happy Valley and we almost won that game?
Yep.
I feel like that game's going to come down to another one of those plays, unfortunately. The Gophers will, I guess, play up to the competition in a way. And I can't remember if I said win or loss on this, Jason, so you'll have to let me know.
You said win in the preseason.
All right, well then we'll have to stick with that. I mean, and it's still completely possible too. These teams just naturally will, play closer. And I don't think the whiteout's really going to affect that. So, keys to the game. I mean, Gophers had 3 turnovers last week. That was huge. So, keeping the ball off the ground in your hands and just controlling the clock. Illinois literally doubled time of possession on us.
Yep.
Which absolutely killed our game. So, I mean, as long as we pound the rock, play the game that we want to play, I see no problem winning by 7 to 10 points. But if we play like in Illinois, we can't establish a pass and a run game. I can see Penn State just running all over us.
Yeah, I have confidence that they're going to be able to. That the Gophers going to be able to run the ball on offense. They've pretty consistently shown they're able to run the inside zone game pretty good. So, I think they'll need some plays in the passing game. It's what it's going to come down to against teams like Penn State, teams like Illinois, teams like Purdue, teams that are, going to put points up and force you to score with them as well. right? Like they're gonna do that, and you're gonna have to get some plays from your receivers, and I just don't know if I have confidence in that right now. So I'm going Penn State on this one personally.
I do see. I mean, even though the receivers didn't have a good game last week, I still see Illinois' corners are fundamentally better, in my opinion, than some of Penn State's. So as long as receivers play their game, that should hopefully produce big. But no, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think getting back to what we do on offense, pretty much like I wasn't like looking at some of the stuff. I was loving the outside zone with Mo, because he did get triple digit, yards for that game despite the loss. I think I know we talk about it, like maybe they don't trust the tackles because like they're not using Brevin out in the passing game, but I want to see him more in the passing game. Like he has the height.
He should be a really good safety blanket. He should be like the best safety blanket for the offense, and he's chipping all the time.
Yeah, always. So like that's for me. Like I want to see Brevin, be the check down because I don't think.
Well, I like when they split him out because they will split him out sometimes, and I'm like, and like put him in the slot and stuff. I'm like, yes, do that.
Yeah, so that's just my piece. But I said L at the preseason. But you guys want to go into score predictions then for this game?
One more thing I will say, I think obviously Kirk being at Penn State not too long ago should hopefully help us. Same quarterback, under the same head coach. He should hopefully know their offense fairly well too, and maybe even a little bit of their defense.
Do you think Kirk Shiraka is Penn State's kryptonite?
Guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Score predictions. So I said loss early season. I'm going to say we lose 21-24. We lose by a field goal. But I also could see us winning too. But that's my prediction that we'll lose.
I kind of want to just say the exact same thing. Like same score, same L, everything. Like I think that's
all right.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think we score some touchdowns, but we just can't get a stop in the end.
What about you, Griffin?
It's funny because we score roughly the same amount of points per game, and the only thing better is the Gophers' defense by about 8 points. And I said W anyway. I feel like there's going to be a decent amount of scoring for some reason, and I don't know why. We'll go 30-23 Gophers.
All right.
Sure. I'd love that. That'd be great.
Actually, from 2019, who was the safety that got the pick to seal the game?
And who sealed
Jordan
the game?
Howden?
Howden sealed the game. Antoine had one in earlier, like at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Howden did it right in the middle of the field inside the red zone, if I remember correctly.
It's like in the end zone.
In the end zone.
Yeah.
I could see that happening, though. Howden gets these calls game at the end there.
If it's anyone, it's going to be Tyler Nubin. He's been playing so well. He's been playing so well.
Give it a Nubin. All right. That is it for previewing Penn State. Like I said, everyone, it is going to be in Happy Valley, so it's an away game. If you're not going to be going, it's going to be on ABC for broadcasting. Going on from there, boys. Anything to touch on from other college football stuff or NFL stuff?
Let's just make it known that I absolutely love that Tennessee threw the goalpost in the river.
Yeah, that's funny. That was really funny.
Like as they should, honestly. Good for them.
The picture of like the cloud of cigar smoke coming out of the stadium.
Oh, that's also amazing.
Yeah, that was a fun game to watch too.
Yeah, that was fun.
But going from there,
I feel like Nebraska is also kind of finding some sort of groove.
Oh yeah.
Which I still think, obviously, we're a better team, but it's going to be a while till we play them as well.
Yeah, one to keep an eye on.
Yep. I forget. So Tennessee beats
Yeah,
Bama.
love Bama.
But there were other upsets too that weekend.
I mean, Michigan barely beat Wisconsin. Michigan State, right?
Yeah,
No,
they
Michigan
went
played.
to 2 OT, I think.
Yeah, I think
Michigan played Penn State.
No, Michigan State.
Yeah, I meant Michigan State. That's my
Michigan
bad.
State played Wisconsin. Yeah.
And that would, like, Wisconsin looked not good at all. Graham Mertz was still the pick machine that he is.
Love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that game went to double overtime too. So
Correct.
there was that. Didn't USC lost too, or is that a different
Yep,
California
they did.
team?
No,
Okay.
the SC lost.
Yep. Yeah, interesting weekend of upsets too.
It's been a fun year of college football.
It has. But other than that, I'm out of things to talk about, and I don't have any hot takes this podcast. So
No, there's not enough energy for hot takes right now. It's like, let's just see what happens.
Literally. Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening and watching today's episode of a podcast. Again, hope you guys enjoyed listening and watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Post Penn State and then preview Rutgers for the next home game. But from there, we'll see you guys next time. I'm one of your hosts, Jason O, along with
Griffin Most.
And Eli.
And we see you guys next time. And